Hey, welcome to Eat This, Drink That. This is our season finale for season 4, episode 8. And Steve, I'm just gonna kick it right off with Steve. I'm gonna let you explain to them what Ali and I are doing, why we're unpacking these boxes right now.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
So as you guys unpack, I want you to just keep these, just make sure the glass and the vial and the letter all stay together so that you don't mix up the styles or, the whiskeys themselves. So welcome everybody. This is going to be a blast. We are doing a blind tasting of our bourbons that I selected for the guys to then tell me what their favorite is. This is not a test. This is not a right or wrong. I picked 5 different bourbons that are unique in some way that by the end, you'll get a very good idea of what style you like. So episode 1, we talked about the laws of bourbon. Episode 3, we went through a lot of the process of bourbon, kind of break down a little bit of how one bourbon is different from another. Right. Then we went through the business of bourbon because it's very unique. It's not just, you can buy bourbon from anybody and put it in a bottle and call it your own. That's changing a lot because of the popularity of bourbon. The distillers want to control that barrel. So you don't see it quite as much. Then we got styles, was last episode. Now we're doing the blind tasting. So what I've done, I picked the 5. I added a 5th one for fun. You got A, B, C, D, and E. Yeah. We're going to pour a little bit of each. And then we're going to taste. And then after we taste, the boys will pick their favorite. Then we're going to unveil each one at a time. Talk about, what you got?
Steve, what are some good ways for us to describe bourbon? Like, what are some of these terms? I think we heard, Band-Aid or a leather. What are some of the adjectives that we could use?
So that medicinal stuff came out in last week's episode with Ali's amazing guest, chef from Buffalo, who must be buried in snow this morning.
I think they are, man.
Yeah,
they are.
5 feet of snow or something. But anyway, he was talking about how his favorite whiskey was actually a Scotch from Islay, from the distillery Ardbeg. And I was talking about how Ardbeg was different than Lagavulin and Lefroy, who are more medicinal in style, who are more Band-Aidy and iodine. Yeah.
Okay, he just lets that roll out. Iodine, I know that somehow, I don't know why I have an idea of what that tastes like, right?
Yeah.
But I do. Yeah. But Band-Aid is like saying, I'm getting some scissor. I'm getting some scissor, Ryan. Look.
Go open up an old school Band-Aid and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. The smell comes out of the package.
So stop everything. Stop everything, because he has a point. I literally, part of a research for a project I'm doing for this new food show concept we're trying to pitch, I literally watched an hour-long video by a MD who is a scientist who researches flavor.
Right.
And
aroma.
Basically, this is the biggest thing. Eat a jelly bean and hold your nose. It doesn't taste it just tastes sweet. But once you have that smell, so what you're saying is the smell of Band-Aid. The smell of Band-Aid. That helps a lot.
You're not tasting Band-Aid. You're smelling it. So here's a really good, let's dive into this. You got bitter, you got salt, you got sweet. Right. Umami is a flavor.
Right.
There's 200 and something aromas that you get. So you only have the 5 taste on your tongue.
Right.
But you have way more aromatics. You smell it before you even taste it. And then after you're tasting and you swallow the whiskey, you're getting more aromas that come up through the back of your palate. So you're getting secondary aromatics. So So the aromatics are the biggest part of food and drink.
I think that's the difference between there's taste, which is only part of the picture.
Yep.
And then I think that's a perfect word, aroma. Now you're talking all-encompassing flavor, which is all-encompassing.
Yeah.
It smells like Band-Aid, and folks, that's just a thing you've done. Because you can't not smell unless you're sick.
Right. So, and that was one of the biggest things about COVID when it went through a lot of the wine community and sommeliers. Some of them lost their smell for months. That's a very dangerous thing for someone in the business of smelling and tasting. So, for Ryan's point, what are we going to say when we taste these? I want to simplify this while you're tasting. So, we'll talk about your first impression on the nose. So when I look at A and I smell A, my first impression is going to pop into my head, and then we'll leave that as the identifier for that whiskey. Then I just want you to drink it, hold your impression, and then we're going to go through each of the 5. And then after the end of the 5, you're going to have a clear, like, I really like B or I really like E. And then we'll go through and then we'll backtrack. We'll go through each unveiling. We'll talk about the flavors. We'll talk about what's going on in the glass. So
I want to talk about what's going on with Ryan shadow boxing.
I'm just getting fired up. I'm getting fired up for this thing. I just poured them. I'm feeling ready. I don't know.
Okay.
Should we talk about having some sort of? I'll be honest. I was kind of trailing off, kind of finishing off my cup of coffee. But I feel like for palate wise, just have a glass of water.
You can if you want to kind of. You don't really need a palate cleanser since we're only doing 5. They're all the same. We're not comparing one spirit to another or comparing 5 different wines from different regions, different grapes. You don't really need. We're not tasting that much. 5 is really kind of a small number. You could easily do in a tasting on spirits, 30 to 40 spirits.
Jesus.
Yeah. If you're doing 30 to 40 spirits, you're going to want to spit. So professional tasters they're spitting.
Okay.
You're not going to go through and just taste 30, 40 spirits in an hour.
On the next episode of Eat This, Drink That, the 30-sip challenge. Go. Like, I'm at 16, like, stop.
Let's grab A. Hey, Ollie, have you poured yours? Yeah, pour a little bit of A into the A glass. Remember, you don't want to mix these up. We want to stay next to each other.
Here's my A glass.
Yeah. Here's my A.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do A.
Oops.
Here's another hint.
The light came out.
Oh, that's fine. Here's another hint on nosing spirits. Leave your mouth open because we're talking about 45% alcohol. That could anesthetize your nose if you just stick your nose in the glass like you're smelling wine. You just have the glass kind of underneath your nose. Leave your mouth open. Take some aromatics in. And what's your first impression?
If I was at a bar just like doing this, people would be like, I think he had a stroke. Like what?
I feel like pine. I don't know why pine came to me. Is that a descriptor?
Can be spice. Yeah, pine.
It's a little spicy.
Yeah, there is no wrong answer. So first impression is really important on the nose. What are you smelling?
You know, it's weird to me. It's going to sound weird. I'm going to say something kind of smart, like peppermint. But I'll tell you, the first thing is when I smell this, I'm like, dang, we're having booze. But then I was thinking, honestly, it smells like morning. And then I was thinking, why am I thinking about that? Morning. Toothpaste and mouthwash, peppermint.
Okay. So minty. I get perfume, like floral.
Okay.
Off of mine. But these are roughly.
If you're smelling cologne like this, you're next to an alcoholic.
No, not perfume in cologne sense. Perfume like floral and really bright, pretty aromatics.
It's strong.
There's something sweet to it. Also, I think there's a sweetness as well.
Yes. Yes.
I'll give you that, but that's bourbon. Yeah. That's bourbon. All right, are you drinking yours, Ryan? I haven't had mine yet.
Yeah, go ahead. Take a sip, guys. Take a sip.
Oh, I thought Ali was already. You said peppermint, Ali.
No, I was just off smell.
Oh, you're on smell. Oh, I see.
Yeah. But go ahead, taste. There's no.
Oh, yeah, no, that
order.
don't taste like I thought. That's not sweet at all.
What does it taste like to you?
It's got. Yeah, like it's astringent. It's got some bite. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even say it's spicy. It's funny because I was having coffee and I'm like, but I had the water too. Hold on, it's just a.
Well, I guess you could say astringent, Ollie, or bitter.
Yeah, it's got bite. I'd almost say I feel like I'm having a rye instead of a bourbon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it's bitey, spicy. It's like Yeah, it's astringent is the best way for me to look at it. It's not. I get no sweetness off this.
Would you call it hot?
No, it's
a
little bit. Yeah.
root beer and root beer cream.
Oh man, putting that down for a second. That is.
I got a root beer cream concept floating around here.
Okay.
Yes.
On the nose or the palate?
On the palate.
On the palate.
Okay. What's the first impression on the nose? Just so everybody knows, Ryan's significant other is tasting along with us so that we have a third opinion, a third example.
Say hi.
Yeah.
What was her? What was your first nose?
Okay, so it was very sweet. Well, when I smelled it, I smelled alcohol. I know it's alcohol, but that's all I smelled. It was biting me in my nostrils. And I was almost afraid of it, but I love the smell of this kind of liquor. So I was drawn to it and I couldn't wait to taste it. Once I tasted it, I felt like those little tingly feelings because of all the alcohol. It kind of like singed me a little bit, but just enough where it felt good. And then it was the difference between drinking a root beer or a root beer float, like a root beer cream soda.
Ice cream. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just had like a cinnamony kind of, I don't know, soothing young vibe to it. And it just felt like I wanted to drink more.
I like this. So there is one common thread between all three of you.
Okay.
There's some bite to this. It's pretty alcoholic. Like the alcohol is very evident, and that is the first kind of impression.
Is this 100 proof?
We'll go at the end. You'll see at the end.
Whoa. Sorry.
Walk,
Okay. Sorry.
then we'll run. You know.
Yes. Let's go to B.
All right, B.
All right. Man. All right, cool.
Ugh. I gotta cleanse my palate a little bit.
Man, you really got some things here, dude.
Well, I gave you guys 8 ounces each. That way you'll be able to kind of go back and try these, make some cocktails with these, play around with them.
What a day. So this doesn't have that smell. That doesn't hit. There's no woof. I'm having booze. Yeah. I've never done this. I've never actually been like, oh, let me get the smell of whiskey. Don't think about that.
Well, so what's your first impression here?
Whoa, sweet, and like it's weird from a mouthfeel. It tastes like it's really smooth, like sweet and smooth. Yeah, like there's, you know what? The other one burned.
Yeah,
the other one burned. This one
is
like
definitely less proof than the other one. This is probably an 86 or something. I don't know. That would be my guess.
What's your first impression, Brian?
I guess I got like honey off of it a little bit.
I was gonna say that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like we've known each other for 20 years. Oh wait. Is it 30?
Oh wait, you have.
Ali, by the way, man, you're I want to compliment you on your physique and your appearance, man. I mean,
that's funny. This isn't even my coat. Well, like this. So this isn't even my coat, actually.
But
so unfortunately, it runs a little big. But
But looking good, looking handsome.
Yeah.
I had to, just do the whole, we're doing it, Yeah. No, this is
2 sips in, I'm calling Ali handsome.
Oh, wow. I know he's bummed.
Hey.
Do not let that man drive. Take away his keys.
What's our other impression for B? I want to hear her impression.
Did you have one? Give it quick.
Okay.
Quick.
So, this one, no alcohol burning smell.
Mhm.
I felt a dense sweetness, but it was just very tiny. It wasn't like big. And then when I actually drank it, I felt the density of the flavor, no burn, and a little more on the sweet side, and definitely what Ryan said, a little honey.
Yeah. Awesome.
There's something at the end of it too on that sweet vibe that it almost reminds. It's kind of weird. Like I might even say this, and it's gonna sound weird.
I love it.
A little bit cough syrupy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like when you're I just got a cleaning the other day. You've been at the dentist, and you get some of those. They try and give you that flavor that's pleasant, but it's really not that pleasant.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. That at the finish.
Like menthol.
I guess, man. I don't know. Now you're taking me back to 30 years ago when I bought the wrong cigarettes.
How about silky? Do we like silky?
Silky, yes. This is a really soft bourbon.
It is soft. Yes, it is.
Just so you know, my very first impression on this was sweet. On the nose, it's just sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go to C.
Okay.
All right.
Man.
C.
I tell you. Yeah. All right.
Ali, what are you doing the rest of the day?
Dude, I'm going to meet my editor to talk about burgers. I'm doing so I think I guess I was talking to Steve about it, but maybe you caught the post, Ryan. So I'm now the official burger guy of Texas for Texas Highways Magazine.
I saw that. Cheers to that.
I'm heading to Houston. You probably know this dude, Bun B.
Yeah.
Kind of an epic rapper, legend. Actually, our friend Saul was enlightening me on his importance. But he does smash burgers, and Houston's got a number of smash burgers that look really solid. So my next story is going to be focusing on the real smash burgers of Houston, kind of like
That's
a
awesome.
Bravo show. But yeah, like I actually connected. I texted Bun. He hit me back. I was like, damn, I was kind of flexing. Damn, I got Bun to text me back. But hey.
This one, this one had a herbal thing going on for me. I don't know why.
No right or wrong answers.
Remembering to keep my mouth open. That really helps you smell it differently.
Yes. How about you, Ali?
I mean, I'm just smelling it like a freak, like you taught me, like this. The only thing I can say right now out the gate is it has, to me, in my mind, the most interesting smell. It's kind of got my head. So did you say herby, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, like something really that I'm into. Like I'm not sure. I can't really put my finger on it, but I'm enjoying this smell far more than the other ones. I think the first one it smelled like I expected it to. It smelled like alcohol.
Okay, right.
But this is like something totally different.
What about on the palate? What on the palate do you guys get?
It was really a very unique flavor profile. Whatever was going on,
you know what? It tastes like it smells. Fascinating, interesting.
It's really unique taste. I don't even know how to. I feel like it's caramelly, but also not. I feel like it's like, it's really good.
What I was gonna say about this is how that first one was like hot, and I was like, doesn't taste sweet. I'm like, is this? I asked for bourbon, but I feel like someone gave me rye. You know what this is to me, and I'm very limited, but this reminds me of when I have interesting scotches, and there's a complexity. This is fascinating across the board.
Yeah. It's a really crazy taste, this one. So this is C. We are on C right now.
Yeah, that's C. And then let me get...
C.
I can't get enough of this.
Oh.
This is a problem. This is amazing.
It's good. You want to give it
It's so good. Wow.
Okay. This one is for, when I smelled it, I just thought, man, Just man.
It smells like man.
Man. It had man vibes. It was given man. When I actually smelled it, I thought, wow, this is really cool. This might be soothing. But then actually when I actually tasted it, it hurt.
It hurt. Oh wow.
It was deep and hard, and it was smoky as smoky as it can get, and the taste was lingering forever. It just kept going and going and going.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Man.
I like the smoke, and I'm into it. I like that smoke, and I'm into it. Man, now I'm starting to, it's funny, having a little water. Man, I'm just into this.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore.
So my first impressions are along those lines. Elegant on the nose. It is not a powerful nose. It's more soft.
Okay.
Pepper, like a peppery spice.
Okay.
And charcoal. That's the smoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's go over to D.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
After B, I was like, man, I'm buzzing hard. But C, like, reinvigorated. Like,
okay. Ollie's back. He's back.
Yeah.
He's back in action.
I can't wait to hear everybody's favorite because we're this is fun.
All right, so we're on D now. Everyone here's what D is looking like.
Man, popping these things is no joke. Serious seal here. Ooh.
Yeah, well, we need to make sure they didn't leak.
No. You did this like proper. This is
crazy. Mine, it was super easy for me to open them.
I almost.
Oh, what the heck, bro! This smells like I'm smelling the garbage can.
Oh,
smells like raw chicken.
So that's probably on the Band-Aid side of things. You're smelling that rubber, like the what do you call it? The trash bag smell.
Yeah.
Right? Trash bag smell.
Yeah, man. This is literally like if I was like a wild human, I would be like, it's rotten. Village, no eat. Like, I don't know if cavemen had villages. I guess they wouldn't have villages. They'd have caves. I'm like, fellow caveman, no eat.
This.
Dude, this is vile, wretched, gross. Ugh, it smells like raw chicken.
What about you?
Raw freaking chicken.
What about you, Ryan? And go ahead and try it, Ollie.
Yeah, gross. I thought like a plastic trash bag.
It
like
smells like freaking
one of those black, what are they called? Yeah, just a big trash bag. Yeah.
That don't taste like raw chicken. Tastes like cooked chicken. Tastes like the fried chicken, juicy fried chicken. Dude, this is very good. Yeah. Is that enough for you? This is smooth.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's pungent. There's something pungent about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one and B have a striking texture, a very striking texture. This is just like, man, C and D are just like, and I mean, I don't drink them neat. So this is an extra lift. Yeah. A is what I expected. Like, oh, dude, here we go. Know?
Yeah, alcohol.
Drinking it neat. But, all right, smells like raw chicken. Yeah, dude.
I like the palate. It's a very good descriptor on the palate.
You know what it is? When you pop open the plastic, meat wrapped in plastic, and you get an odor. I mean, you don't want an odor, right? But you get that funky odor. Sometimes it's chicken, sometimes it's pork. I never really get it from beef. It's that. That's what that is. Yeah, it's like, dude, we should have cooked this chicken on Tuesday. It's freaking Saturday.
Raw meat.
So
yeah, should have cooked the chicken on Tuesday.
Straight funk.
Funky. Shoot it over. What'd you think?
I thought that I kind of felt like it had a little bit of the cinnamon flavor in the beginning. Very, very. The scent. It was very light. And then when I actually drank it, I felt like it was smooth, and I felt like it was like C but lighter. It had that smokiness, the undertones of it, but not fully like C was, like knock you in the head. This one was kind of like lightly. I felt like I could keep drinking this one.
Yeah, it tasted better than it smelled for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there is something about this C and D that, like, I don't know. I think because it is so smooth, whatever flavors there are more like subdued. But then there's just that vile smell that is literally like, you should have cooked that chicken on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like I just can't get over that.
Okay.
So mine was it smells like confection. Someone's baking on this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, we got to get you to a better baker. Did you give me like a bad batch, bro? What is it?
Interesting.
Yes.
It smells like raw chicken.
So dusty. You're saying it smells dusty a little bit?
Yeah, it could be a little dusty. That could be the funk. There is a funk in the back. It is smooth as silk on the palate.
Yes.
It is really good. Steve, so your wild card, you were originally going to have 4 for us today. Is your wild card letter E?
Well, the wild card is just, it's in there somewhere.
Okay. All right.
But let's go.
Cheeky devil. You cheeky devil, you.
Yeah.
What a cheeky devil.
Okay, E. We are on E.
Damn.
Ollie's like sitting into it. He's like, yeah, here it comes.
We're on E. Ryan, we are on E.
What's your first impression, Ryan, on this one?
Okay, I did not start.
There was some weird.
Ooh.
I have a weird fleck in here. Is that normal?
Okay.
Plum.
Ooh, like it. Fruity.
Fruity, for sure. Very plummy. I don't know why I got that fruit right away.
It's so weird. Now I'm getting less raw, like much more, a more subtle raw chicken. But but you know,
This one might be my favorite smelling one so far. This one might be
okay.
This one was really smelling good.
Man, the power of suggestion. Like you said, plum. I don't know what the hell plum smells like. I can't tell you the last time I ate a plum. Plum. Hey,
what's your first impression outside of
like, it felt like pulling the thing off the tree and like, taking a bite out of it. So I don't know, maybe that's barky as well, but it just felt like a piece of fruit, I guess.
No, that's fruity. That's totally fruity.
Whoa. Ooh, damn. See, now it's almost, for me, this is blending. It's kind of weird to say how this kind of brings in elements of everything I've had, right? But for sure, I was going to say the things I liked about C and D plus a sweetness from B, right? But it does have a little bit of heat to it as well. So this really does feel like you took all 3 or all 4, as elements of all 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because A was the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's got a burn that happens.
Yep.
The aftertaste has got a sizzle. Woo!
This is the one I would be like, I'm buying. I'm like, it's just kind of in my zone.
This one tastes rich. It tastes like luxurious. I don't know why.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's kind of funny is when you have C and D, as smooth as they are, as interesting as they smell, I expect a little bit of burn. I expect a little bit of heat. And that's just when my brain's like, yeah, I'm having whiskey right now, and E is a return to the heat, but far more chill than A. And I've never bothered to smell before too, which is a whole other thing. And I don't think I will ever think about. I don't know how I would ever appreciate C and D without having that smell and be like, wow, it smells like raw chicken.
Yeah.
Wow.
This C, D, and E all have that. It's an odorous-y odor. It is some funky. Ooh,
it's pungent. They're pungent.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
What's her impression on the E?
She's coming through.
And just so you know, I'm writing all this down. So when we unveil.
Ooh. Oh, I just got vanilla and butterscotch big time.
Oh, you took mine.
So you're vanilla and butterscotch.
I had vanilla and caramel.
Okay.
It definitely burns. I definitely felt that automatically. Well, I smelt it. And then I felt like when I actually drank it, it burned just enough. It wasn't too much. Okay. And it It kind of had vanilla caramel on the back end. I would probably get this one most likely, but you guys, I didn't have breakfast, so
That's
Oh
fine.
my god!
That's fine.
Wow.
Okay.
I had to like make sure that went down.
First impression, Ryan, what's your favorite?
E.
Okay. Ali.
Yeah, it's E, man.
E.
It is. This is the thing. Well, I'll say this: E would be this in my mind, and I guess I think about this as like I'm buying a bottle, and that's
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
E is a safe purchase. It has lots of qualities that I kind of expect, and after having all this stuff, it has these very interesting flavor qualities that I'm getting from C&D. But
Yep.
E is just like all around. We're getting a bottle. Let's ride it out.
That's exactly what I want to hear. If you were to taste all 5 of these in a store blind, which one would you buy? E, and your girlfriend's.
What's your answer?
E.
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 Oh, we got 3 E's.
We got 3 E's. It's definitive.
But
All
to
right.
be fair, I would not E like E's also a safe purchase.
Yeah.
If I already had a bottle,
Yeah.
if I already had a bottle of bourbon,
What's your
I
second
wanted
choice?
Something else.
Second
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now because it's
I'm gonna
between
go-
C and D.
I would say for me, it's got to be C because that had the most unique taste out of the
Okay.
5.
Okay.
And I think that would be a special one to just, it's so unique. I think I'd want to have it at my house with my second
Yep.
bottle. What's your second one, babe?
I'm gonna say B because there's less alcohol burn,
Yep.
and for me, I'm more about the end result.
Yeah.
Instead of being burned the whole time.
Okay. I'm thinking everybody thought that was the most elegant.
B, yeah.
Well, actually, C got a lot of elegant. That was everybody's elegant one.
I honestly, I would be tossing a coin to even tell you the difference between C and D.
Okay.
Except for that smell variance, but I'm not smelling it; I'm drinking it, right?
Right.
I want to say like just because I could go back to A. B was my least favorite. I'll just say that right now.
Okay.
C or D, it would be a C or D.
Oh,
Probably a C. It's more
Okay.
striking, and it was
Yeah.
the most raw chicken.
Let's go C. Let's go C. I'll keep it as C and D.
But D was,
D's
like I said, I probably couldn't taste the difference off tasting.
Right. This
I
is
just had D again, and it was really good. D is got something
Yeah.
special to it as well. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what these are, Steve.
This is going to be a blast. All right.
Are we ready? Are we doing
Let's
it?
just dive in.
All right.
A. This is A.
Maker's Mark. Wow.
Wait, what?
A is
A is
Maker's Mark.
Mark.
So go ahead and
is
smell that again. And then I'll start talking about why it tastes this way. Why it
Whoa,
smells
that's so interesting because so many people feel like this is a fantastic whiskey.
Yeah.
And I think we decided it was a little too hot or
Yeah.
Which it is.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get all that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we got
Wow.
people that said, everybody said burned, astringent, hot. Everybody.
Whoa.
We had root beer cream, we had mint, and we had bitter.
Okay.
So more simplistic flavors. There weren't
That's
complexity like what you guys were describing in C and D. There was a lot of all over the map of descriptors in C and D.
Okay.
A was very simple. Mint,
I see.
root beer, so sassafras, but everybody said hot. So let's talk about Maker's Mark.
Interesting. Wow.
Maker's Mark is 1953 is when it started. It's not the youngest in this bunch as far as the concept of the label. It's not the oldest. This is actually around a 6 to 7 year old bourbon. They don't come out and tell you. A lot of these guys are pretty vague on letting you know what's in the bottle. But
Yeah, you've been saying that this whole season.
Yeah.
about it.
6 to
transparency.
7 years of age. I'm going to guess it's more like 5. Think about as it ages, it gains complexity, but also depending on where it's aging in the room, it will lose water and the alcohol goes up.
Okay.
Interesting thing here. There is 0 rye in this.
0 rye. Okay.
0 rye. They are a wheat house. That's what they
that's
did
right.
in 1953 was everybody made the same recipe before the 50s. It was around 70% corn, around 15 to 20% rye. It was the basic recipe. Everybody did it. He came out and said, no, I'm going to make a wheated bourbon. No rye whatsoever. So this is 70 corn, 16% soft red winter wheat. They are very specific in the wheat that they want. And if you remember from one of our episodes, wheat provides sweetness. So the corn's giving you sweetness. So is the wheat.
Is this the one that Ollie said tasted like rye or no?
Yeah.
No.
This
I got you said astringent and mint.
Yeah, but I mean, this one, maybe I didn't. Later on, I was like, this would be the one because of the hot. It was hot.
Yeah.
See, to me, I was like, oh, wheat must make it spicy. But this one, it burnt the most.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's also lowest proof into the barrel. They go in at 55%. 62.5 is the law, the max, and that's what almost everybody goes in at. This is very unique because they rotate their rack house. So say floor 1 to floor 10. Floor 10, you're going to lose more water. Floor 1, you're going to lose more alcohol. It's a slower evaporation. They rotate the barrels through the whole rack house because they want consistency barrel to barrel. Because they blend about 150 casks into this.
Okay.
So they do a blend of the same 150. I think you guys all kind of roughly said this is the most simplistic of everyone. You know, you got 1 or 2 flavors. It's not overtly complex.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How I'd frame it, like this smelled like I'm going to have friggin' whiskey.
Yeah.
And it tasted like I'm drinking whiskey without freaking ice or anything else.
Yeah.
And then honestly, especially once you get into CD&E, it's like, this is getting weird, like that's it. So I guess that's how I go it. This A is obvious.
Yeah.
CD&E is like so weird. Like, what the heck?
Okay.
So let's grab your B's. Your B's.
B.
I did not plan this to be a B and a B, but Buffalo Trace.
Really?
Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
So you guys said honey, sweet, dense sweetness. Sweet was the common thread from all 4 of us.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about Buffalo Trace, they are a very low rye, less than 10% rye. This is another house, and this is still a privately owned family distillery. Used to be the George T. Stagg Distillery. The Sazeracs own this. The family that owns Sazerac. They do not share info about their production at all.
What's the proof on this? And what was the proof on the last one?
So the first one was 45.
Okay.
45% alcohol, so 90 proof. I remember, or at least in my head, I always thought Maker's Mark was 80 proof, 40%.
80.
Yeah,
Right.
I always thought.
Yeah.
This is 45 also. I think people raised their ABV over the last decade, just a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like Makers started at 80 for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe this is the what's it called? The parallel universe or something.
Yeah.
Effect.
This label did not start until 1999. This is is this the newest not the newest label, but it's pretty close.
I buy that one. That one's good. I like Buffalo Trace usually.
Yeah, we'll do prices at the end.
And works.
We'll do prices at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
This is also, you guys all kind of mentioned how elegant, it was soft. It was very smooth.
Softer one, yeah.
They say this is a 7 and 9 year old bourbon. So that's a good chunk of age on that.
Nice.
This is just what people say. I'm going to say it's probably more like a 6 or 7. I can't imagine they are aging this for 9 years for this price, but whatever.
I know it was Ali's least favorite, B, but B was a solid one for me. I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
And your girlfriend said B too. That was her second choice.
Yeah.
Everybody said E, and then you guys said B, and then Ali was C or
C and D.
C and D.
I would tell you out the gate, I just want to say, because we're not having the luxury of looking at a label and judging it, I would have flipped my A and B. I would have been like, no, Buffalo Trace is better than Maker's Mark because I don't know why. But yeah, I think a Buffalo Trace is better. And I think because when I would first get Old Fashions, they'd be making with Buffalo Trace. I had not seen it before. Maker's Mark was a whiskey I had run into before. And I figured, so it's interesting that I'm like, Maker's Mark, I enjoy more neat than Buffalo Trace. That is truth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Ryan, I wrote it down. You were C for your second one, even though B is probably your third.
Okay.
That's interesting that you say that about the labels, and we'll talk more about this. If you were to see this first, I bet a couple of you might pick this as your favorite because this is the collector house. All the expensive bourbons that are coming out into the market, the ones that everybody travels everywhere to try to find, are coming from this house. The George T. Staggs, the Pappy Van Winkles, Elmer T. Lee, Blantons, all those come here.
Yeah.
They have two different recipes, a low rye and a slightly higher rye. They're not really a big rye house like some of the other ones. And bartenders geek out about this. Plus, in theory, you get more Pappy Van Winkle if you're pouring Buffalo Trace in the well.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of bars have more Buffalo Trace.
All right. Well, let's move on to
This will be a longer episode, but I will try to stay on pace.
Wow.
Here we go, Ali. C.
Okay. I like this one.
Woodford Reserve.
Whoa.
Yeah, very cool.
This is also a relatively new whiskey. This was founded in 1996. The label comes from a very old house, the Brown-Forman group, which is Jack Daniels, Old Forester, a whole bunch of other stuff. But this was 1996. Everybody knows this now because of the Kentucky Derby. They've been sponsoring the Derby for a long time. Brown-Forman is based in Louisville. So their heritage is Kentucky. Woodford Reserve. So here's some unique things about this. So you guys had some really good palate identifiers.
Oh, good.
So elegant. Mine was muted, herbal, unique, interesting, man vibes, lingers, fascinating. Okay. Not all of this comes from the Lambert and Graham distillery, but the old Lambert and Graham distillery down in Versailles, that is a triple pot still distillery. It's the only one. They don't use column and doublers. They use all simple pot stills, and they triple distill it. I don't know the percentage of what the rest of it comes from. Louisville, comes from the Old Foe distillery, Old Forester, which is the traditional high rye and column into a doubler. I don't know the percentage. I really wish Brown-Forman would release a Lambert and Graham only bottling because I think it would be very unique. There's one other place that does simple pot stills 3 times. Irish whiskey.
Oh.
Wow.
Irish whiskey is made in a triple pot still with malted and unmalted barley. The only reason they did unmalted barley is to try to cheat the tax man because the tax man taxed them on how much barley they malted. So then they started doing unmalted in the 1800s to save money. But it's triple pot distilled. So I've heard people say that Scotch and whiskey, Irish whiskey, smells like guys. Like, this is what guys do. They drink.
Interesting.
So that's a really funny thing for her to say, man vibes, because it smells like more of an elegant Scotch or Irish whiskey. along those lines. Not the sweetest either. They are a high rye house. So Woodford Reserve is 18%, well, traditional recipe, not high rye. 72 corn, 18 rye, 10 malted barley. A couple other unique things. We think Buffalo Trace, but for sure Woodford Reserve heat cycles their rack houses. So they heat it up to try to speed up the aging process. Because in the winter it gets cold, the aging process is going to slow down. They heat it up. But the unique thing here is triple pot distilled. There's a good portion in that. I wish we knew.
Like Irish whiskey?
Yeah, that's the Irish way. Triple pot distilled. 45.2%.
Okay,
alcohol.
these are all 45 so far. Interesting.
Yeah. This is 90.4 proof.
I've bought Woodford Reserve a couple times. I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. That was your number 2?
Okay.
This is definitely, I'll tell you already, I'm gonna buy me a I've ordered Woodford at the bar because I'm like, okay, this thing's not gonna hammer my tab. I can have probably 2 to 5. You know what I mean? And it's always been like pretty good. And now that I know that I really dig it outside of looking at the bottle, I'm walking it. I got some marching orders.
You were torn on your second favorite, C or D.
I couldn't. I couldn't really tell.
By far, C was the most elegant by all 3 of you. Everyone said elegant, elegant, elegant. All right, D, Four Roses, small batch.
The small batch. Wow.
So this label is actually the youngest of this entire table. Okay. The label of small batch wasn't released until 2006. There's only a handful of markets, California, the bigger markets, California, New York, Florida. I talk a lot about Four Roses because I can tell you almost everything that's in this bottle because they have the most transparent wording of everything they produce. Okay. You can go on their website and go to every bottle. It will tell you the flavor streams they use for the blend, how old. It's full transparency with this company. That's why I think it's the most important distillery in America is because of their transparency. Not because they are the very best, because there's plenty of great whiskey. They're fully transparent. So this is also 45%. This distillery actually goes back to 1884, not the oldest. There's one older, but it's 1884. The label itself is this one, 06. This is 4 flavor streams. Number 2, number 3, number 7, number 8. So and this is a 6 to 7 year old bourbon. What that means is 2 and 3 are the same mash bill. That is 60 corn, 35 rye. It's the highest rye on this whole table. 5% malted barley. The yeast strains are the different. So they have 2 mash bills, 5 yeast strains for a total of 10 flavor streams. The other flavor streams in here are 7 and 8, and that's their more traditional. That's the more traditional recipe. 75 corn, 20 rye, 15 barley. That 18 to 20 rye is kind of the very traditional, that's how it used to be made. That's how most distilleries produce. But then they blend all 4.
So Four Roses, this has been a popular brand for Steve. He brings it up a lot. Ali, so you were torn between this one and C was Woodford Reserve.
Yeah, for my number 2. And yes, I'm totally sitting down. I'm sitting down now. Yeah. I've had a lot of whiskey. What is funny is as soon as I said, wow, I get to taste whiskey without being burdened by whatever impressions, loyalties, or preconceived notions I have, but looking at a bottle, it's interesting because when I look at that Four Roses, and it is steep, because I remember people were like, Four Roses is really good, and I must have had the regular one, I didn't really like it, and then I got like the reserve one, and then is a small batch, is that retail for like 30? Is that right?
We'll go over pricing right at the end.
Okay. The
I don't want
other
to
day,
ruin.
I got a Four Roses. I don't know which one it was. I don't think it was, because there's one that's like 50, and this was $30, and I was like, "This is very good."
Yeah.
Like, hard to. I want to say small batch costs more than that than the one I may have had.
So
But anyway,
the way they step, they have yellow, which is the old school traditional. It's been around forever.
yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, most people don't. It's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Then you have Four Roses, the one most people see. I can't remember what that costs. Then you go into Four Roses small batch. Then there's a new one, small batch select, which honestly is just a completely different bottling. So it's a confusing label. It makes it sound like select were the best barrels. It is 4 completely different flavor streams, and it's roughly the same age. It's a little more expensive. They don't make as much. And then they have that whole single barrel program, which is really unique and cool. One of my all-time favorites, and they give letters to each of the qualifiers for their flavor streams.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is OBSV, 10-year, 8 months. I wrote it down so I could, if I ever find that single barrel again, I'll buy it. That was one of my all-time favorite bourbons.
Wow.
Because of all those flavor streams, and they use 5 yeast strings, I think that's where you guys got all the funk from, because each yeast strain is giving off a really different flavor. Makers has their own unique yeast strain. It's 150 years old, older than the distillery. Buffalo Trace has theirs, Woodford. So does Four Roses. Everybody kind of has their own. Four Roses, I think, is the only one that does 5.
Okay.
So
Letter E. What's doing? We got to figure
all right,
this out.
letter E.
We got about 10 minutes left on the show. 8 minutes left.
Old 100.
Old Forester.
Wow.
Wow. This is the one that I added at the last minute because I wasn't going to.
What a ending to the story.
Because we use this in all our cocktails the whole season. I'm like, why don't I just buy another bottle and let them try it?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
And all of you chose this. All of you.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Old 100. This is the oldest continuous distillery in America. They made medicinal liquor during the Prohibition and the wars. The wars really shut down a lot of the distilleries too, not just Prohibition. 1870 is when they started, which makes them the oldest distillery on the table too. But this label, the 100 proof, they did this to conform to the bottle and bond laws in 1897. So this label's been around a long time too.
So this was the strongest one, Steve. This was 100 proof?
Yeah, 100 proof.
What was the Four Roses?
Four Roses, 45.
45. Okay,
So makers,
all 45.
Yeah, all 45 at this one. I chose all of these. Yeah, I really chose all of these for a reason. Makers is the only one with no rye. Buffalo Trace is a very low rye. Woodford Reserve is triple pot distilled. Four Roses is the most transparent and the highest rye. That's why I chose that. It's 35% rye. And this is the highest proof. Let's talk about pricing.
We all chose the highest proof. You got to love that.
Yeah. Let's talk about pricing. This is also the cheapest. It's $23.
Okay.
Wow.
Here and I'm going to give you Colorado pricing.
Yeah.
Old Forester's the cheapest out of the lot.
Yeah.
All right, 23 for Old Forester.
Now remember, in Woodford is some of the Old Forester. It's a blend of Lambert and Graham and Old Forester.
Right, there you go. Wow.
So you guys also kind of, Ryan and Ali were like C for my second favorite. There's some similarities.
I could have gone both ways, literally.
Maker's Mark is $27, second cheapest, just a little more expensive.
Yep.
I think you'll be surprised about this one. Buffalo Trace is the middle, $30 for Buffalo Trace.
Okay, yep.
But I have to tell you, this was the most difficult one to find.
Oh, I was wondering which one.
They make a ton of this. So I had to drive 45 minutes or a half an hour, call it 30 miles, east of Denver to the middle of nowhere to a place that just had tons of it because they got the same amount.
Oh.
They just don't have as many shoppers, so they don't go through it as quick.
I see, because Buffalo Trace is everywhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah. But here, I had stores try to tell me, "Oh, that's allocated," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
Interesting. Okay.
Woodford Reserve is only $37, so it's not the most expensive. It's the second most expensive.
Yeah.
Four Roses small batch here. This cost me $48.
Okay.
So this was the most expensive.
Interesting.
Okay.
And I really think I want you guys to tell me now that you know price, label, compared to your impressions, give me your order again.
Order
I mean,
again.
it's still gonna be like E is just you know what? Remember how I phrased it? I phrased it as E is a safe bet buy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Bet.
So I would tell you this, you know, just to me, what makes a lot of sense. If now I know everything, I would just look at this by purchase, not bar, by buying a bottle. I would pick up a bottle of E and I'd pick up a bottle of D. And the E would be for everybody. E is for everyone. Rated E for everyone. And D would be like, this is my little special. And I'm not going to let go of the fact that label matters. And I've just had a good run with enjoying Four Roses. And I don't know which one I got, but I need to double check it. The Four Roses I got a bottle of Four Roses for $30. And I was like, this is damn solid. Mm-hmm. So I would, and based on everything you're telling me, I'm like, yeah, you know, and Woodford, like, I would definitely give it fresh eyes. You know, I would certainly, I'll tell you this, my bar marching orders, because Woodford appears a lot at bars.
Yeah.
Airport bar. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be like Colonel Taylor to be freaking finding Woodford. So I would definitely reach for Woodford at a bar, especially if they're pouring it for a reasonable price.
So E is your house bourbon for your guest. D is for you to sip and drink and enjoy. And C is when you go out to a bar, you're ordering Woodford.
Yeah. All things being equal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, look, I'll tell you this. They have freaking Old Forester 100 at the bar. Yeah. And it's cheaper. It's over.
What about you, Ryan? I can't wait.
I mean, I think I think I would stay with where I was at, because I think what's cool about Old Forester is, like, I have been a fan of it before this podcast. I enjoyed it. Tastes great. So it's kind of like a life hack. You can sort of be like, hey, forget the Jack Daniels, and that you can bring the Old Forester and sort of like hip people to it. And then for my second choice, I hate to say this with but the branding, the Woodford Reserve, that is like, it's a nice looking bottle.
Yeah.
You bring it to an event, and it's a sophisticated looking situation. So I
also picked that as, but blind. You said that was your second favorite.
Yeah.
So you're still in line with that.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I love Buffalo Trace. Like I probably buy that as much as any whiskey. So I'm glad that you had that as part of our tasting, because I do enjoy it, and so. I'm glad it was part of the 5, but I'm going to go E and C still. Yeah.
Okay. What about your girlfriend? She's still there, or is she?
Yeah, she's here. She's hanging.
She didn't eat breakfast.
I know.
I'm barely standing.
Ali got conked out there for a second too.
Ali wasn't standing. He pulled up the stool.
This is the best Saturday ever.
Yes.
Is it Saturday?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with what I had.
Okay.
Only because those are really good reasons for women.
Yep.
We do like the taste. However, we kind of just want to get to it. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah. So E and B. So you're E still, just like everywhere, and straight into B.
Yeah.
All 3 of you picked a different second favorite.
Okay. B, C, and D.
Yeah. Yeah, so D for Ollie, Ryan, C. So 4 Roses for Ollie, Ryan, Woodford, your girlfriend, Buffalo Trace.
But I want to throw this out there, being not for, I should be talking food, but it's also cheap eats. The cheap eats guy in me says, is the Woodford, is 4 Roses small batch like $18 better than Woodford? No, it's
interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's
Guys,
not.
by the way, I don't know if this is going to shut off automatically on our Facebook and live stream feeds, but we're getting to an hour. And
Okay, let me give a quick synopsis then before we're done. It's all apparent that E or
Old Forester 100
was the most bourbon-esque bourbon on the table. This is the one that was bourbon.
Yes.
Maker's Mark was the hottest. Buffalo Trace was your guys' all surprise, and I'll be honest, it was my surprise too. I was surprised how much I liked Buffalo Trace. Mine was still Four Roses, Buffalo Trace, and Old Forester. Those were my three. Woodford was everybody's little secret, like, holy crap, this is excellent.
Word to the Woodford.
That one was crazy. Yeah.
That's the most elegant, triple pot distilled. So it makes sense. But guys, this was a blast.
Thank you for this season, you guys. Ali and Steve, you guys killed it. Steve, I felt like you led the way a lot. So Steve, thank you so much for all your hard work, and Ali, all the cooking and stuff you did, and bringing on the chef, and you even made us a drink.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
This was awesome,
what is
guys.
In store next.
Next season will start January 7th. It's a secret what we're going to do still, but we're going to have a couple episodes in December for the holidays. But season 2, Fireside season 2 will start January 7th.
All right. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yep. Have a great day.
Steve,
it worked.
Ali.
It's exactly what I expected. I'm like, what do I do now?
What do I do now? Happy Sunday. Happy Saturday.
Oh my God, he doesn't know what day it is. Mission accomplished.
All right, guys.
See ya.
Cheers, everybody.